Hope everybody had successful finals week, and I hope everybody's resting up from the crazy semester that we just are recovering from now. Tonight, I wanted to speak briefly regarding the minhag to eat milchig foods on Shavuos, particularly on the first day. Sort of just a little bit about the history of why we have this minhag and its halachic implications. Going in a very brief discussion about that. There's much more to say about this than what I'm about to present, but I just thought I would share a couple of quick ideas regarding this topic. So, we see a source for the minhag of eating dairy on the first day of Shavuos. We find this in the Shulchan Aruch. It's in Siman Tuf Tzadi Daled and Halach Gimel. Where it says that it's usher to fast on Motzei Chag Shavuos, and the Ramah goes and continues and discusses that there is in the Ramah's sort of addition to this halacha, he mentions there that we have a minhag to eat milchigs on the first day of Shavuos because it's a zecher to one of the two tavshil and one of the two prepared foods that we brought on Leil Pesach. And one of them was milchig. So according to the Ramah, this would be sort of a zecher to that which we brought before during the times of the Beis Hamikdash. And the Mishnah Berurah brings a different reason as to why we eat milchigs, which is because at the time that we received at Zman Matan Torah, before that we didn't have any of the halachas, and we wanted to celebrate the receiving of the Torah, but we wanted to have a big suit and everything like that, but we couldn't because we didn't have the halachas before, and all of our kalim were treif, and the only thing we could do was have milchigs. So, because we couldn't cook the fleishigs properly, we didn't know how to shech before then, so fleishigs were not available at the time. There are many other reasons why we have a minhag to eat milchigs on Shavuos. I'm not going to go into all of them in the interest of time, trying to keep this short and sweet, but those are just two I wanted to share with you. Now, there's a question, right? The question is, seemingly according to the Shulchan Aruch, and this is debatable, but there's precedent to say this. If we look at Siman Tuf Kuf Chaf Tet here, it says Adam Ochel v'Shosav Hasemeach v'Regel v'Lo Yimshach V'Asar V'Yayin v'Schog v'Kalos Rosh, and it goes on about and basically talks about that on Yontif, because this is the halachas of Simchas Yontif, that we are chayev to eat and to drink. Now, presumably, at least according to the Shulchan Aruch here, the Shulchan Aruch is assuming that when it says the words eat and drink, that it is referring to meat, and that's because it says don't overdo the meat and wine, which means that the assumption is that we are eating meat and wine during Chag as part of the Suda. Now, so seemingly there's a halachic precedent that it's l'chachila to be eating meat on the Yontif. However, this is not always the case because some people don't enjoy meat, and the whole idea is the simcha. So because of that, because the ikr is a simcha, not just eating meat in itself, we're not actually chayev to eat meat, but the assumption is that we're eating meat. Now the question is, for those people that do enjoy meat and the people that do derive the greatest amount of simcha from eating meat, how do we reconcile the fact that we have this minhag to eat milchigs? If there's a halacha that we have to eat foods that we like on Yontif that make us happy, and let's just say like someone like me, I don't like milchigs as much. There's a lot of people like me out there. I prefer fleishigs over milchigs. How can we reconcile the fact that we have a minhag to eat milchigs and Shavuos, but if we want to be misameach ourselves, then we would have to eat meat because that's what makes people like me or other people that prefer meat happy? How do we reconcile the minhag versus the halacha? So most, and many of us probably already do this, but most rabbis, including my Rebbe, suggest that we eat something milchig for kiddush, and then wait a few minutes, take a break, and then afterwards have a fleishig suda, so as to be mekayim both the minhag and fulfill the mitzvah of sudas yontif lechatchila, for at least for those of us that prefer to eat meat. Obviously, like I said before, there's some people that don't prefer meat that prefer milchigs. There's just a cute story that my Rebbe told me, that when he was in YU in Smicha, he went to his Rosh Yeshiva's house. I'm not going to name who this rabbi was, but he went to one of his rebbeim's houses for the first night of Shavuos, and this rabbi gave over this shir very similar on this topic, and how l'chadchila we should be eating meat because most of us enjoy meat on Yontif, and then right afterwards he served a milchik suda, and my Rebbe asked him, I don't understand. We just had this whole shir about how we should be eating meat, and now we're serving milchiks. And his answer was, my wife wanted dairy. So I just thought that was a funny little way to conclude the shir. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a fantastic Shavuos, and hope to see you guys next semester. Hopefully this Megefa will be over.